We finally made it back from our Africa trip. It was 3 weeks from February 14th to March 6th, a little less than 3 weeks. And we went to Tanzania. We did a safari for 5 days. Then we went to Victoria Falls with a side trip because of flight cancellations, 2 nights in Nairobi, Kenya. And then went down to Cape Town and we stayed there for about a week. Mostly when packing for this trip, we were packing for the safari because it had the most stringent requirements. Had to be a soft-sided bag because we were taking the small little airplanes. Their requirement was a soft-sided suitcase. We decided because it would probably just be easier to carry around with uneven pavement or dirt, that most of the time wheeled suitcases weren't being wheeled anyway. People were having to carry them. So we decided to bring backpacks. So I brought, so this was my check-in. It was great. Backpack itself is very comfortable. Here it is, the Osprey Sojourn Porter 65. One of the main things I liked about it is it has multiple pockets for organization. So let's start with this upper pocket, the smaller one. So I brought 2 hats. This one I wore mostly during our hike in Cape Town. This one was a day pack I used all the time. It's great. This one, honestly, I like this mostly for the sun, but I don't like it because it makes me look like an Asian grandmother. So I used it when we were in the pool and whatnot. But yes, it was used. I brought tissues for just in case scenarios, but all of the places we went to had tissue paper. So I never actually had to use it. There's a bottom zipper here that I used to store my extra pair of shoes. I brought my Tevas. So this doubled as my sandals and flip-flops, or I only wore 1 pair and brought 1 pair of shoes. So this was my sandal slash flip-flops. The other pair of shoes that I wore and brought, I wore these on the plane and I wore them everywhere, are these New Balance shoes. I have worn these for 3 weeks in India and now 3 weeks in Africa, and they're still holding up well. And most of the time when people say bring 2 pairs of shoes so that, you know, the pressure points and whatnot can be different every day so that you're not rubbing against one sore point. Well, these shoes are amazing. They did not hurt my feet at all, and we were walking a lot. And I was wearing them probably 80% of the time, if not 90% of the time on this trip. And my feet did not hurt at all. And that includes a 3-hour hike up Table Mountain in Cape Town. So that really tells you they've got great grip. They're semi-stylish. I actually really like it for the height too, because I'm kind of short. And also if you're stepping anywhere where it's like really dirty and gross, mentally I'm like, oh, you know, I have a little bit of distance between the dirt and my foot. It's very neutral and it matches everything. I don't really have to worry about things not matching. It's not too sporty to where it would look weird with a dress. You can kind of dress it up if you need to. So this is an all around, if you want to pack minimal kind of shoe, and it works great. I did pack only 1 swimming suit. I made sure to bring a top. It's a bikini set, and the top looks like a sports bra, and it also functioned as a sports bra. I didn't know if I was actually gonna go to the gym or do any kind of actual workout on this trip, but I wanted to be prepared if I did. So I did go swimming with these, and I also hiked Table Mountain with this. This functioned as a sports bra, and we also went to the gym 1 time, and this also functioned as a sports bra. Worked great. I don't have large chests size, so I mean, I don't really need a lot of compression or support, but it worked. All right, clothes. So what to wear, what to bring on a safari to Tanzania in February/March, which granted isn't the high season. So it's winter here in the northern hemisphere, but it's summer there in the southern hemisphere. And also Tanzania is closer to the equator, so it's relatively hotter, but also in the Serengeti and on the safari, it's very cold in the morning. And I went during their summer. So if you're going during their winter, it gets even colder. So pack in layers. That's number 1. So let's just start with your flight, like what you're gonna wear during your flight. I always wear, I know it's gonna sound very repetitive, everyone says it, but merino wool does actually work wonderfully. It dries fast if you're doing laundry, and we did a lot of laundry during our trip. And also it's temperature regulating, so it helps you stay cool if you're hot, and it also keeps you warm when it's cold. So I wear this merino wool dress. It's a long dress. It comes to about mid-calf on me for flights. I don't have to worry about things, you know, poking out or coming out undone when I'm sleeping on these long flights. I also, because we had a very long flight over to Dubai and then a very long layover, I knew I was gonna wanna shower and change. I also brought this merino wool dress from Unbound Merino, and I changed into that after I showered in Dubai and onto our second leg. And I was gonna do the same for our Emirates flight back, but our Emirates flight got canceled. This dress actually doubled as like a semi-casual, could be dressed up kind of a dress. I did dress up for our wine tour in Cape Town, and I wore this dress, and it was a great wine tour dress. All right, tops. For the safari, they recommend you not wear anything dark. Dark blues, blacks attracts insects. Mostly they're concerned about mosquitoes. At the time we went, it was definitely not mosquito season. We didn't really have an issue with mosquitoes. In the South Serengeti, it was definitely flies that were the main problem, and they didn't care what color you wore. They were coming at you. So I tried not to bring anything black. I did bring one black tank top that I actually never wore. I was thinking that I was gonna wear this when we got down to Cape Town where they didn't have that issue with insects. But in Cape Town, it wasn't warm enough to wear a thin tank top. It was actually pretty cold most of the time. Even though it's summer, because they're so south of the equator, it's pretty cold. I also brought this linen tank top, also darker blue, so I didn't end up wearing it. On the safari, it was mostly for Cape Town, and again, Cape Town was just too cold for these two items, so these were never worn. All right, so what did I wear? And I wore these all the time. I wore a Unbound Merino wool t-shirt all the time, and also a alpaca wool fiber t-shirt all the time. These are super comfortable, keeps you warm when you need to be warm, and also keeps you relatively cool. They're breathable fabrics when it's hot. These I wore mostly down in Cape Town where it was kind of on the chillier side, and these definitely kept me warm when I needed to be. This tank top here, also merino wool from Winelands. This one I also wore all the time. It's a little bit more not as revealing as a more traditional tank top, and in hotter weather where you don't really want to be too revealing, such as in Zanzibar where we went, mostly Muslim community. Actually, I wore a long sleeve linen shirt, and I'll show you a few of those when we were there, just to kind of be respectful and cover up when you're there. But yeah, this I wore working out. It was a great workout tank top. Wore this when we climbed Table Mountain. Wore this quite a bit. All right, pants. I brought two long pants, both made of linen. This one with the camo print, I wore it all the time, every day on safari. It's jogger style, and so it doesn't touch the floor. You don't need to worry about the hem getting dirty, especially when there's dirt all over. Yeah, wore it every day on safari, but then I didn't wear it any other day after. So I probably should have brought linen pants, same jogger style, but maybe in a different print, because I had a 3-week trip. If I only had a 1-week trip on safari, definitely. But after the first week, I didn't ever wear this again. So maybe consider something different. The other pair I brought was also linen, light gray, not jogger style, more just a wide leg trouser. And I wore these all the time. They could be dressed up or dressed down. And definitely in Zanzibar where it was Ramadan, I didn't want to be too revealing. I wore long pants and long sleeve linen button downs. Speaking of those, I brought 2 linen ones, one in green, one in a light tan. And these are not fancy. This one's from Old Navy, and this one is from Uniqlo. This one is a 100% cotton one from Quince. This one is a little bit thicker, and definitely wore these when it was a little bit colder, especially in those mornings in the safari was cold. Shorts. I brought 2 shorts, one pair of linen shorts from Quince. I wore these when we were working out. To the gym, hiking Table Mountain. I think in Victoria Falls, I also wore these as well. Another pair of shorts. These are from Walmart, very comfortable, also green. So as you notice, I didn't pack anything other than the black tank top that I didn't end up wearing anything black for the safari because that was what they recommended. And then one pair of, you guessed it, merino wool pajamas. And these were great because if you were hot, they kept you cooler. And then if you were cold, they were temperature regulating. So it helps a little bit with warmth. Key item, a packable down jacket. It gets cold in safari, and even though you check the weather app on your phone, it's like, oh, it's only 65, it won't be that cold. You're in an exposed vehicle and it doesn't really feel like 65, it feels more like maybe in the 50s. And I'm wearing these linen breathable fabrics and it's cold. So you need something warm like this to layer over everything in the mornings. Okay, undies. So I ended up bringing way more than I actually used. We ended up doing laundry at least once a day or once every other day because all my clothes and all of Ernest's clothes are quick drying. As long as you do the method that we showed you in one of our previous videos, your clothes will pretty much dry overnight. I brought 4 bras, merino wool, a few undies, socks. Also try to find merino wool socks. They do dry faster than traditional cotton socks. Now, toiletries wise, most of the time, if you're staying in one of the camps, they actually will provide you with shampoo, body wash, and whatnot because they want to make sure that it's all biodegradable. A lot of the times the camps are migratory camps. Half of the season, they're in one part of the Serengeti and the other half, they're in the other part. And what our guide told us is that when they pack up and move, the whole camp is gone and everything that's in their septic tanks are opened up. They just allow nature to take its course and everything is just degraded, and by the time they come back for the next season, everything is just kind of grown over with nature. We brought a poncho, and this was mainly for Victoria Falls because it gets really wet there. We ended up not using our own, and I kind of wish we had because the ones that were provided to us by our tour company had tiny holes in it, and it was so wet from all directions from the mist that you're soaked. I was pretty wet from just wearing a raincoat that had like tiny little holes in it. So I kind of wish I had used my own. I didn't want to deal with the hassle of drying it out before packing it up again. But if you bring one, wear it. Now they say to bring a bandana or a scarf for the dust. That really depends on what season you go. So if you're going during high season, yes, definitely bring a scarf, bring a bandana because it will get really dusty, and that's mostly because of all the other trucks that you'll be riding along with. We went during shoulder season and most of the time when we were on safari, we were the only truck for miles. And it was also intermittently raining, so it was very minimal dust. I did not end up wearing any of the bandanas, scarves that I brought. Didn't take up much space, so it was fine. All right, other essential things, very, very, very important. I've not really had this happen to me as much as it did during this trip to Africa, is don't forget to print out all of your ticket information, your flights, as well as all of your visas. We had to have a whole folder full of this, and I'm so glad that we printed it all out because they definitely asked for them, and a lot of times you might not have reception. We both have the international day passes on our phone plans. I have AT&T, Ernest has T-Mobile or Verizon. I forget which one, but we went through our mobile carriers for international stuff. And in Zambia and Zimbabwe, even though it said we had 3G, we did not have signal at all the whole time we were there. So if we hadn't already printed out our visas, it would have been a disaster. Print out your flight information of all of your flights, as well as all of your visas, and keep them where they're readily available and safe. Don't lose them because you will definitely need all of them. We had to show ours, all of them. And of course, your passports, your wallets. In terms of cash, Tanzania, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, they all accept US dollars as actually what they prefer most of the time. Make sure you bring small bills for tips, like 1s and 5s. In Cape Town, that's when, after we landed in the airport, we went to the ATM and we got cash out of the ATMs. It's the South African ZAR. And all right, so everyone is talking about this Tripit Toiletries bag, and I bought into it and definitely do recommend it. The fabric is really thin but super strong, and the zippers are really smooth, and there's multiple pockets to keep everything organized. So one thing that most of the time people are not aware of is how very little we use of our toiletries. I was gone for 3 weeks and I only used half of this container. I decanted all of my lotions into smaller containers such as these, and there's still a little bit left in here. So there was more than enough to last for 3 weeks. It might seem surprising to most people, but you don't really actually need that much. So you can save on a lot of space if you decant all of your toiletries into smaller portions. So makeup. On days I did wear makeup, it was very minimal. One eyeshadow served the entire trip. Just one of these Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows, just for a little bit of shimmer if I wanted it. One eyeliner. Brow product. One of these mini mascaras. I use the Thrive Cosmetics one because it's a tubing one, very easily removed just with water. And then, surprise, surprise, foundation. I actually barely even used, I didn't even fill these up all the way when we left. I think it was about here. So I used half of the Color Science. It has SPF of 50, and then mixed in with some, depending on how dark I got. As the trip progressed, I got darker and darker, so I used more of the darker foundation. And I brought blush. This is from CL. It has SPF. I think I used it twice. Shiseido SPF stick, as well as the L'Oreal bronzer. This powder blush I never used once. And this one size SPF 28 setting spray I probably used twice. So yeah, very minimal makeup, but it was there if I needed it.